Now, this particular brand, we may or we may not know to be that top brand. But I guarantee you, like I said, it is the top brand at the moment. Okay? Now, this bank, or the ownership of this bank, they may have gotten a really good price break on purchasing all these televisions. And by the way, these televisions look to be somewhere in the 40 to 50 inch range, somewhere in that in size. Some are a little smaller if it's a smaller branch, some are a little bit bigger if it's a bigger branch. Okay? But again, this is a top tier television. Alright, this television would cost anywhere between $500 and $2,000, depending on the particular model number. Okay, could be last year's model, could be. The bottom line is that that's an expense that this bank is using to do their advertising with, okay, after we bailed them out. Okay, and my issue with this is, even though there may not be any televisions that are American made anymore, some of the televisions still have an American name on them, which is a different, we'll certainly have a segment about that as well. But this is a foreign made television, top of the line television. Okay, the bank may say, hey, you know, the advertising costs to generate banners and etc. Let's just go up here to my little note. The advertising cost and the promotional costs to print banners and the like may be more expensive than buying those televisions. I certainly don't know that. I'm not privy to their banking information. But what my point is in all this is the United States America government, we bailed these banks out. We bailed them out. Why are they buying and purchasing a foreign-made product to do their advertising with when they used American United States dollars to bail them out, to help them out? Okay? Like I said, this bank may not have done this, used bailout money. I don't know that. But I'm looking at it as a whole, and I'm trying to make a point. Because I'm out here to say, look, all right, these banks can't have it both ways. They can't have their cake and eat it too. All right? You know, I personally think banks are the most ridiculous thing in the world. Okay? People during the Depression didn't trust banks. So they took all their money and they buried it in the backyard. They hid it in the walls of their house because banks ripped people off. Banks took people's money. Well, they're still doing that today, folks. All right? So, you know, it's not going to be too long before people are going to start doing the same thing. I mean, look at the logic. A bank asks you to let them hold your money into some type of a savings plan, whether it be just a savings account, a CD, whatever that may be. Okay, they pay you a meager anywhere from 1% to 2% yield, depending on, you know, the circumstances and the specifications of that product. Okay, the life of it and so forth. So they give you a measly old little yield on your money, and oh yeah, by the way, if you want a loan from us, we'll let you have maybe that same money back that we're holding for you at a 12 to 28% interest. Okay, and hey, I understand banks are in business to make money, but, you know, it gets a little ridiculous, folks, to say the least. So anyway, these are the practices that I find extremely unethical as an American. You know, why is it that we can bail out banks and then they do this to us? Okay? Anyway, America, that's my point. Okay? You know, it's one thing for them to operate computers and televisions and communication equipment and electronic equipment. That equipment may not be American made, but that's what this is all about, is changing that. Okay? But to walk into that bank and see a $1,000 television on that wall behind those tellers that's not an American made product. Not only is it not American made, it's the most expensive in the top of the line television that's on the market today. And that's on the wall behind that bank, and they purchased it with money that we gave them. Folks, this is what I'm talking about. Okay? May not be a big deal to you, but when you take this example and you multiply that out times, you name it, all kinds of other things, that's why we are in the shape we are in. With that said, thank you, America. We'll see you on the next segment. Cut.